on a home?
I'm not. So I'm 6'7", so I use what I have to my advantage.
What's the focus for you as far as getting used to the pro game, trying to kind of lessons you hope to learn from some of you?
Guarding in space, honestly. At Ohio State, I switched every single screen that came my way, but right now I'm like learning how to ice ball screens, sending players different ways, and just guarding point guards, wings, bigs, and all of the sorts. So just adjust to the defensive side of the ball.
You did extra time in college as opposed to a lot of guys coming out in the draft. Just being, I hate to say older at your age, but being a little bit older than some of the guys coming out, do you feel like that's an advantage for you right now?
Somewhat. I feel like I think the game. Like I said, I ask lots of questions. I feel like young guys don't pick up on that till a couple years down the road. But just me being a sponge and learning that like I did in college is going to help me here.
Thank you, Jay.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see everybody.
What's about John's ability to shoot it at his size?
He has a really good ability. Obviously in the corners, he was knocking down a lot of threes today in practice. Did a really good job on catch and shoot situations. At his size, the 7'1", and his ability to stretch the floor, it does provide a unique skill set.
What's it like seeing him walk in the gym, just seeing his body type, and just his weight and his height and what he's able to do on the court?
Obviously, you can tell that he's very young. He hasn't filled out. Does not have any baby fat, so I don't know, But obviously, like I said, he has a very unique skill set, ability to shoot at that size, space the floor, handle it in some pick and roll situations. Adds a lot of versatility to our lineup.
Do you have a plan for how to use Dyson? How would you describe how you're going to use him and sort of what you expect out of him?
He provides so much versatility for us. We can use him in a multitude of ways, quite frankly, as a primary handler, secondary handler. At the end of the day, he's a basketball player. So he makes the next best play, whatever that is. And like I said the other day, he plays at his own pace. He plays at under control for the most part. So after a week of practices, or a couple day of practices, 2 days, it's time to see him against other competition right now because he's looking really good against our guys.
But is it your goal to sort of put him in different spots to sort of see all of that?
Yes. So as I said, he'll be the point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. He'll play all positions, and even some small ball five at times. We'll see what the lineup looks like. But it is at this time a year to, especially in summer league, to get him comfortable, and then also see what else he can do in terms of being a primary ball handler and a secondary ball handler.
I know that Fred's working with him right now.
Yes.
Is it fair or unfair to think Fred Vincent's working with him? He's going to become a great shooter overnight. I mean, he's had so much success with so many different guys.
Well, Fred is a master at what he does in terms of getting guys shots and giving them the confidence to go out there and knock shots down at a high clip. So it will only serve his benefit going forward, working with Fred. So I obviously the bar being what it is with Fred, the guys that he's worked with in the past and the level of success they've had, I don't see why, because Dyson's going to put the work in. So the results are going to be there. And just like with anything, though, it's just going to take time. So don't expect anything next week, but just know that obviously, like with Herb, you put the time in, and it's that old expression, we've all been around sports long enough, you get out what you put in. And I know that with Fred, Dyson, they're going to put the work in, and you're going to see the results.
But his mechanics are pretty good right now, aren't they?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Fred would probably be the person to speak to us even more specifically with specific mechanics. But obviously his shot profile, where his release point, all of those things are really, really good.
What do you think about the job EJ has done so far, adjusting, just getting used to his role?
He's been very physical, plays with a high motor, someone who can finish all three levels, quite frankly. Pull-up jumpers, knock down three, can play out of the post. Does a really good job making rotations defensively. So he's providing energy and hustle out there, and then that usually translates to him being in the right spots. So all those things bode well for him.
From your experience, can you teach a guy to be a great shooter? Is that possible?
Absolutely. That's one of those things that sometimes people get caught up on, that, a guy can't shoot and move on. I've seen it in my experience where guys can either change their shot, their actual shot profile, the way that they shoot the basketball, and the results will follow. I've seen that in my experience. So, and especially when you're working with someone like Fred Vinson.
You and your brother have spent 20 years now, I guess, as players and coaches, scouts in this league. This is just kind of a general question, nothing specific.
Mm-hmm.
But all the news and the soap opera of the offseason, do you pay attention to it? Do you not pay attention to it? Are there ever moments that you go, wow, I can't believe stuff like that happens, in kind of the intrigue that is the NBA offseason?
I'm like Seabiscuit. Horse, you got to have your blinders on. Stay focused on the task at hand. So my job is to coach the summer league team and get our guys prepared and locked in to go out there and execute on both ends of the floor.
With a guy like EJ, is he a guy that you know he's going to get a lot of minutes in Las Vegas? Is he a guy that you sort of put an asterisk by that he's going to play a lot?
I think that all of our guys, quite frankly, are going to get an opportunity out there on the floor. Obviously, with our young guys, you want to give them reps and as many reps as possible. That being said, as I mentioned the other day, Jose, Najee, Trey are not going to play the duration. So a lot of guys, all of our guys, are going to get multiple reps and multiple opportunities to go out there and show what they can do.
Is part of the goal to get Dyson and EJ on the court with those guys at the same time?
Maybe. We're talking rotations? Yes, obviously. To get some familiarity going and get some comfort playing with each other. You do want to try to establish that early, and they've done that here in practice, and we'll continue to do that in Summer League.
And EJ also talked about college. They were more switch everything, and you guys are more of a icing down screens type of team. Now, is that part of the value you bring, just the ability to do a little bit of everything in those pick and roll coverages?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, when he's at the 4, we do our primary defense is 1 through 4, doing a lot of switching. With the 5s, we don't switch as much. It really depends on the versatility at who's at the 5. So obviously, if Jackson's at the 5, if Larry Nance is at the 5, and you have EJ, then you can switch 1 through 5. If Jonas Valanciunas is at the 5, you're asking a lot of him to switch on to a primary ball handler. So we want to put our guys in a position to be successful. But like I said, having versatility, having someone like EJ who has the capability of defending the screener and defending the primary ball handler adds us or affords us the opportunity to switch 1 through 5. So you want to give the guys a base package first, and then you build from there defensively.
Is there someone, I know we'll focus on the draft picks, but last year, Jose was undrafted and we saw him in Vegas and it was kind of this scrappy guy. Is there someone that maybe has caught your eye so far that isn't one of the players that was drafted, or just somebody that you didn't know much about coming in here? It's only been a few practices.
Yeah, really good question. I'd say all of our guys, quite frankly, have played really well and played hard. I'm not going to say just one particular player, but I would just say that all of our guys, what I'm most impressed with is how much fight and spirit and competitiveness all of our guys, top to bottom, have brought to each practice. And that's only going to make them better and make us better as a whole.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
What's it been like just getting adjusted, you know, figuring out new team, new system, pro level, all that kind of stuff?
It's definitely an adjustment. You know, I feel like the people around here, you know, great at their job. So, you know, they've had many rookies in the past, so they do a good job implementing and helping other players make that transition to the league. So,
What's been the biggest adjustment for you?
definitely speed of the game, physicality, just some of the stuff, you know, that comes along with just going from college to leagues, you know, playing with professional athletes.
How would you describe your skill set? Jaron said you have kind of a unique skill set. How would you describe it?
All about versatility. Like from a little kid, I've always been trying to work on every aspect of my game, whether that be on offensive end or defensive end. You know, I would work on perimeter ball handling, perimeter shooting. You know, I work on post game, post hooks. Just, you know, try to get mid-range game. Just work on all I can offensively, defensively, switching 1 through 5, being able to contain the point guards, guard 2 threes, being able to guard 5 men. So, you know, I take a lot of pride in versatility in my game.
Can you knock down the triple?
For sure. For sure. I shot 40% in college last year.
And how much fun is that when, because people look at you and they say, no, that's maybe not in this just because of your size. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun, you know, being able to spark energy for my team. You know, when we see people on the bench getting hyped up after I hit a shot, you know, I feel like that helps us carry momentum on so we can be successful.
So when did you get confidence in that?
Since a little kid, I've always been working on it, you know, spending hours in the gym working on the jump shot. I have confidence that, you know, I've done this so many times, so many repetitions that I feel like every shot's going to go in.
You know the history. I mean, look, Najee Marshall was undrafted. Jose, like of this organization, finding those guys. Is that something that intrigued you about this place?
No, for sure. They do a great job doing their research, figuring out, you know, finding talent early. You know, maybe people pass up on these people, but they see the spark in other people and in the light, and they really do the best at bringing it out of players.
And
Think you
probably-
can accomplish in Vegas?
You know, just being able to, you know, prove people wrong. You know, I went undrafted. A lot of people passed up on me, but you know, this opportunity for me to display my skills and what I can bring to this league.
You probably heard this before, but a lot of people walk in the gym and don't see people who look like you. You know what I mean, with that size. But I think, how do you think your size and what you can do on the floor is kind of an advantage?
It's different. You know, with me being 7 foot, I'm a longer defender. You know, so if I'm coming out on perimeters, it's hard for people to get their shots off or get around me because, you know, I'm a longer defender and I move as agile as I do. So I feel like that's a benefit, being able to be at my size with my athleticism, my quickness on the defensive end for sure.
Did you feel like you were slighted?
Excuse me?
Did you feel like you were slighted not to be picked?
Sliding?
Slighted, like it was almost like an insult that you weren't able to.
I mean, it is what it is. You know, I use it as motivation. You know, it definitely hurt that night. You know, I was expecting to get drafted, but you know, I'm just going to keep moving forward and with my 10 toes forward, and you know, just moving with my head down, just working hard.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.